Welcome back to the YouTube channel. So this is episode 2 of Ranger Review's Dino Charge edition. Thank you so much for your support. If you can join the Patreon, that helps even more so we can keep making these videos. But without further ado, let's get to it.
Playing Three Musketeers again?
I'm not playing.
So I honestly like Michael's portrayal of Riley. I feel like he's really natural in this role. He has a lot of energy with it. I don't think I ever came here to film myself in this specific forest, but we had passed through it to get to the quarry. The quarry is an area where you see a lot of morphed fight sequences where there's like the legendary battle from Megaforce is filmed there. Whenever there's like a big boss battle or something, it's often filmed at the quarry if they're using American or New Zealand footage versus the Sentai footage. All right, so here's the opening again. I'll let it play just because I love the song. It's cool, you know, it just shows a bunch of different skills. Obviously, this is us, not doubles, doing these little fight sequences. Shovel blocking, yep. James with the wink. Or was that more of a smirk? That was a smirk. So whenever we had Dino Charge ready, we always had to make sure we were lined up correctly because if the camera was shooting from the side and we were blocking our face, we couldn't tell. Straight on, it may have been fine, but from the side, your arm is too high and you're blocking someone else in the lineup. So Brennan, lower your hand, or Yoshi, lift your hand up higher, or whatever. So it's just we'd eventually get to the point where we would just hit it. If it was a new location, new camera setup, it took a while. Little things that you think go by so fast take a long time to film. 3 episodes every 9 days, and that's ridiculously fast. Rangers put us through the ringer. But there's a lot of Japanese footage already filmed, so there was less to actually film that's original. And then also we had multiple units. The Megazord fights and the in-suit fights obviously were already filmed, or they're filmed by our stunt doubles, so that was less footage we actually filmed. So this, whenever they show the back, is a double. Whenever they show the front, it's Michael, that's a double, not double, double. Doubles always cover their face if you notice, so you can't see them, or stunt performers in general.
That's my energy.
So special effects, turn the metal piece he was pulling into his dino saber. That's cool. So obviously this is a prop. And there's different size props depending on if it's an up-close shot or if it's being used in a fight, just for the detail. So double, doing this. Now it's Michael, double. You get the point. And the stunt performers who are in those suits, they are not easy to breathe in. So I just feel bad for them. I mean, honestly, it's hard to see out of them too. They are legendary. They're so good at what they do. So here's this little bonding moment. It's cute. I mean, it's not like bonding to a T-Rex, but you know, Velociraptors, they have their part to play. So a lot of the people they hire as guest stars, like his brother, they're from New Zealand, so they're known as Kiwis, but they obviously have a Kiwi New Zealand accent, like James. James' accent is actually a little different because it's kind of mixed with the UK, because that's where his mom was from. I believe. Oh look, it's us again. We shot 3 episodes every 9 days, so it's known as a block. So this is it known as a block? I think it's known as a block. Maybe I made that up. This is me actually driving on the correct side of the road, but in New Zealand it's the wrong side of the road, so they have to close down the road so I don't get hit.
Hey, you need a hand?
And just like that, fate had 3 Rangers meet. I almost said 2, I don't know why.
And I'd never leave.
So I'm actually driving, and I believe the car, I don't know if there's a camera on the car, or if there's a car in front of me filming. I can't remember, because sometimes they would do both.
Something's up.
We did multiple takes on this, and I remember I hit the car so hard I hurt my hand.
Hang on!
Because I legitimately tried to move the car just to bring realism to it. I don't know. Yeah, that hurt my hand. Didn't look very hard, but I did multiple takes, and I hit it harder depending on the take. And good thing for glowing Jolly Ranchers saved the day. So obviously, that's special effects. We didn't actually make the car fly into the sky. So he's a cool dude. He's one of the stunt guys as well. I mean, he was under the car, so that's usually a stunt anyway, but he plays, I believe he plays the Vivix sometimes too, that we fight. And look at that, we're already wearing our colors. So again, this isn't the actual museum, this is a different location. It's like a garden behind it that they just decorated the front of to make it look like it's the exterior of the museum.
I'm very hungry.
Coda, you're always hungry.
So this is a different location than the exterior of the museum. They're not actually near each other.
Where'd they go?
Look at that.
So this is really cool seeing this for, you know, the first time, actually getting to interact with it. So this actually worked. This was an actual slide, but this was a different location. So when it leads into the base, that's not from this area. This just leads to the bottom and then you walk back out. But when they cut to where it does lead, that's the inside of our base in the museum, which is actually at the studio location versus this, which was on location somewhere. So all the lab equipment can be moved like on wheels, or it's just really light depending on what it is. I think it's more just light because you can't see the wheels, but depending on what it is. So this is magnetic that holds the energems in place between the crystals in the crystal bed. See, it actually stays there. That's a practical effect. Usually they have a tennis ball that we all look at. So it's on a stick. So whenever there's like some kind of 3D projection, we're looking at a tennis ball. Sometimes they put a mark on the wall, but that's a tennis ball for that.
Coda. Chase. Miss Morgan.
So now we get 5 Rangers together. I mean, Miss Morgan's not a Ranger yet. Again, spoiler, my bad. I'm assuming if you're watching this channel, you may have seen Dino Charge already. If not, go watch it. I believe this took 10 to 12 hours, like potentially over multiple days if memory serves, because we ran out of time from filming other stuff, so we had to come back and film it again on other days. This whole like 3 or 4 minute exchange took about 12 hours. So again, all the different angles takes a long time to film. Again, we have the puppeteer who's hiding, moving the mouth by squeezing a little air pressure gauge. If you can hear that cricket, it's very loud. So here, when we're looking at this digital projection of the map, this is a tennis ball, or they pick a point through that we all stare at, but I believe that's the tennis ball because our eyes are slightly up on a stick.
I'm Tyler. I'm all in.
Good.
I'm Tyler, and I'm all in. Honestly, a lot of actors don't like to watch their work. I like to watch it because I want to see what choices I would have made differently now and how much I've grown as an actor. This is obviously my first time being the lead in a show for so many episodes, so I grew a lot from these first few episodes to Dino Supercharged to where I am now as an actor, and I'm still always learning. You know, it's an art. You always can get better. I mean, maybe you don't see any issues with it, but just seeing it and knowing how I delivered it, I feel like it's a bit stiff and robotic depending on the scene. Like, I'm Tyler and I'm all in. Like, that just felt a little stiff. But again, it's Power Rangers and it's campy on purpose, so it's like also hard to not feed into that sometimes. So my Energem doesn't like me, apparently.
Tyler, you must stay.
But
I legitimately was sad that I had to stay. You can see it in my eyes. Those are sad eyes. That little scar under my right cheek, I was riding my bike and I rode into a sign. I tried ducking under it and I didn't clear it and it hit me and I fell off my bike. Fun fact. So that's the explosion in the opening of the show. Okay, so if we share the spirit of the T-Rex, does that mean Rexy is that T-Rex that bonded in episode 1? Partially, but it's also in my Energem? I don't know. Comment below what you think, because I'm not even sure. So I know this part, yeah. The Energems basically charge a Dino Charger, so you don't technically need to wear the Energem if you have the Dino Chargers full of energy from the Energem. And look, it works. But there's Rexy to save the day. So this is Japanese footage. Most of the stuff, whenever it's a Megazord, it's already filmed in the Sentai. We shoot original in-suit footage in New Zealand a lot, but not the Megazord fights. Look at him sprinting. Yeah. Those stretchy pants.
You mean this?
So again, like the line delivery, I would like, you mean this? I would do it more. Again, I was still growing into who I am as an actor, and I still am. But this part's cool.
Dino Charger, ready!
First time morphing. How do I know how to do it? It's just like when you bond to an Energem, you just learn. I made that up, I don't know. So if you notice, I did Energize, Unleash the Power. Later on, we change it to Energize, Unleash the Power. I don't remember what episode it changes on, but it does change.
Dino Charge!
So when we do ADR, we watch whatever we're voiceovering or dubbing. There's like 3 beeps. It goes dee, 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 and then you have to say the lines and match it to the action. It's easier to do in the suit because there's no mouth to match, but sometimes we had to dub ourselves if it was really windy, and that was hard because you had to like get the timing really close to what you said on the day and the tone and inflection in your voice to make it make sense.
You can't get me!
Yeah, so again, like when you do ADR, you see your acting and you're like, oh, but I can change it. And sometimes they let you, other times they don't. That was a cheat aerial, that move that my double did. Or maybe that was Sentai footage, I don't remember. But anywho, it's not a full aerial. You kind of looked down and said, I can do that. So this is digitized. So we actually did have some original Megazord footage, I guess. We didn't have the suits, or at least I never saw them, so they had to digitize it. Like in the first episode, when Rexy almost stepped on Shelby and myself, it was digitized. So that was American New Zealand footage, not Japanese. Michael's funny, tapping the helmet.
that is not Fury.
So Yoshi told me Peter actually helped coach him on his Coda audition and helped him come up with the cadence that became Coda's pattern of speech. And then Peter got his time to shine later in Ninja Steel, because they both auditioned a couple times for Power Rangers. Like I auditioned for Samurai. I believe they auditioned for Samurai and Megaforce. Or maybe they did Megaforce and Dino Charge. Peter auditioned for Dino Charge as well, I believe. So that took a while. That was a little tricky. Spinning the blasters up. But we got it. So when we morph, we actually had to put on different color spandex. They didn't do it for theirs, but when you saw me morph earlier, I wore black and then like it changed to white and then it changed to my suit. So we had to try on different spandexes and be spun on a Lazy Susan, which is like this rotating platform. Gets like the full angle of you as you morph and it like spins the Ranger around. So it's pretty cool. So again, mini trampoline. is what rangers always jump off, and the camera's usually under, and then it shoots up, so you see them flip over the camera. So this is a different belt than they were just wearing when they opened it to pull the charger out. So now it's gonna be a different belt that doesn't open, or is more stable, so it's more likely to stay on versus when they do that insert. And again, we don't have millions of stunt performers in Vivek's costumes. It's just the same group put in different areas multiple times. Again, explosions on the floor. But I believe this might be Japanese footage again. Actually, I don't know. I kind of feel like I recognize this area.
Hey, you! Try this on for
Get him!
size.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes! Lucky shot!
So there's that cheat aerial again that we saw earlier. Wow, he just bit him in the face. I mean, it was effective, like super effective. That was like Blastoise using Hydro Pump on Charizard.
Now let's finish this ice freak
Together! I say that a lot. Do this! Energize! It's always fun doing the call outs for that kind of stuff. That's called a gainer, a forward traveling backflip, by the way. They scare me. I can do them, but I don't like to.
monster.
And there's my line that becomes the end of mini monsters.
Thanks, Rexy.
So we didn't film in the actual museum very often. It was just like the episode 1 and then a couple, it was only a few times. They just did sets that connected with the footage that they shot from the museum before. This is at the studio. So the studio is like our base camp where all the lab stuff is done, or where Sledge's ship is. It's always in the same place. And then when we go on location, that's like in a forest where we physically have to travel somewhere else. So that's episode 2. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you again for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share it, and check out my Patreon because your support means the world to me.